So we're going to try to do this really quickly. I'm going to show you how to make a contact section of your page. So it's just going to be real quick. We're not even going to do everything that you need to, just the stuff that we have background in right now. So I've made some changes to this. I have some real text here now. Well, sort of. I mean, still make-believe, but whatever. I have credit here on these photos. If we go to other ones, you can see contents, credit where credit's due, etc. You get the idea. So I'm going to go to the contact page. So originally you couldn't do forms, and so early on, and even for quite a while after forms were available, you saw like links where it would say like click here to email us, and you click on it and it would like let you email, sort of. I'll show you what I mean. And with that, they would often have like really cheesy like email GIFs. So like if we type like free email icon, we can find like tons. And any given one, like these are pretty nice actually. Any given one, we can click on it and we can see, you know, are we allowed to use it? And it depends on different ones, you know, what the artist decided. And so if we click on a different one, you know, so commercial use is not allowed, but personal use would be okay for your own personal website as long as you're not like making money. So there's a variety. But early on, it was more just animated graphics of like emails going into mailboxes or like little letters going inside of an envelope. Let's see if we can find some examples here of what I'm sort of talking about. Yeah, so you had stuff like this. And I mean, yeah, they're kind of cute, but nothing says amateur web design like some of these. And no offense to this website. I mean, this website is sort of specializing in these types of things, but professional website, no, definitely not. Although you saw these on tons of professional websites in the like mid '90s, but that's that's a whole other story that we've talked a little bit about already. So I'm not going to put a little graphic here, but I could. I could put a graphic here, and I could even make it a link. The way this works is a button where you email someone is actually a link. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to open up my contact page just in TextEdit. Let's zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. Let's find our content section. This is zoom out just a minute just so I can more easily find what I'm looking for. Spacers, main content table. There we go, because I used the white space to like arrange things and order things so I could find them easier. And when I zoom in, you get all the word wrap when it gets too long, which is like what you see here, like the text like wraps around, so it's word wrap. So I can make it a little bit hard for me to find what I'm looking for. So here we go. So this is what I want. Here is my click here to email us. Alright, so focusing on this. Alright, so what you do here is, like I said, it's just a link. That's all it is. So we're going to start our link tag, and we're going to close our link tag, or I guess our anchor tag is more accurate. Shouldn't be calling it a link tag, it's an anchor tag. And inside of this, we're not going to do what we normally do. Instead, we're going to type mail to, we'll just, not a real email address at, I don't know, fakeemail.com. Real creative, I know, right? So if we save this and we go here, now it's a link. And what's going to happen is when we click on it, it tries to open whatever our default email software is on our computer. Now, you don't have this set up on these, and unless you're on your personal computer, it's not very useful, because if you're on anyone's public computer or on a friend's computer, it's going to try to open up whatever they have set up, or if they don't, you'll see this. So, not useful. Now, what we can do is, if a user's smart enough, they can right-click and do copy email address, and then if they paste into like their Yahoo email or Google email or some web-based email, they can see that email address that you had attached to it. Now sometimes it will be just like this. Sometimes it might even still say the mail to in front and they have to delete that. But you know, you get the idea. So that's not very impressive. Now to add to that, you can do other stuff too. Let's go back to our TextEdit. Not only can you do that, but you can even like start the subject line for them. So if we put a question mark, we type subjects equals, we can even put like about your website. Well, sort of. Keep in mind white space bad. So %20 is what would go for the spaces. So when you're actually like emailing someone or using this, these would be spaces. So it would have this as the email address that it's being sent to, and then it would have this, but with spaces for those, for the subject heading or subject title or whatever for the email. So I mean, that's kind of cool, assuming that like, you know, they want to use their default email. What's much more common though is like a form where you can put in information into like those little white boxes and then press submit at the bottom. So let's look at how to do that, because that's much more impressive. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to keep this because it's showing that I know how to do that. So so we're going to go ahead and keep that. So we'll do it. So I have this like click here to email us. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's form, fine. Or fill out the form below. We'll put a few more capitals in here to have a little bit more excitement in this, because, you know, email form, super exciting. So now, awesome. Not quite what I was looking for. Let's make that a little bit smaller, because this font size is a little big. And you know, I want to center this, so we're going to do a center, and we'll do a /center. We'll save it. And yeah, that's alright. I don't really like the difference in the gap here, but that's because this is not actually, it actually is like centered if you look at it from like there and ignore all that, but whatever, it's okay. So we're gonna do a form, right? So you're just gonna have to follow along. It's a little bit complicated, and it doesn't quite, the HTML looks a little different than what we're used to. But there's some good reasons for that, and we'll get into some of that stuff later on when we get a little bit more advanced. So for right now, we're just making what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and actually, yeah, it's fine. So we're going to start out with form name equals, like, I don't know, contact us or something like that. And we're going to do method equals post, and action equals send underscore form underscore email dot php, or at least we would, but we're not writing PHP yet. So for right now, we're actually going to go ahead and get rid of that, because otherwise it wouldn't be able to find it. So our form's not going to work, but at least you'll be able to like see it. You'll see it, and you'll get the idea that, you know, you're learning. It's okay. So next, we're going to do label for equals, in the quotations we'll put first name, and you know what, I don't really need first name. I'm just gonna do, well, that's fine, whatever, not a big deal. First name, put a little star there to try to tell them that, hey, you should fill this part out. I was thinking about maybe instead of having first name and last name, maybe just having like first and last name as one, but I mean, it shouldn't really matter. Not really. Last name with a little star to say that, hey, please do that. Oh, I forgot the actual input. So input type equals text. Without this, there would be the label, but there would be like nowhere for them to actually put anything. First name, max length equals, I don't know, I don't need a whole lot of space for someone's first name, right? 20? And we'll do size equals 30, decent. Alright, so just like the previous, we once again need another input, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this and just switch this to last name, and that should be fine still. And we're going to make a new label, and we're going to call this one maybe email address. Actually, you know what? I don't like having first and last name. That's just kind of, I think it's silly to have both. So we're just going to do like username, your name, username, and we'll make this a bit bigger because some people might have really long names. So we'll go ahead and make this like 40 or something. Email address. So we need another input spot. Text, username. So we're going to change this to user email, and I want this to actually will be consistent, user_email, and that all looks good. I guess I could put like, you know, like telephone if you want to be contacted by telephone or whatever else, but I'm just going to keep it simple. So now I'm just going to put a label for like comments or like your message. Comments. And this one's actually a little bit different. We're not putting this one as like an input type. This one actually becomes a text. Text area, and we'll name it as user comments, and I forgot to fix that above, so user comments. It's important that they match, and we'll do max length equals, I don't know, 1,000, I guess. That's not super long but not super short, and we need a columns, I don't know, 25, and we'll do rows equals maybe 5. That sounds decent to me. And then this one, we actually need to close this one out as text area, because that's to have a tag. It's a text area tag. Alright, so now we need another input type. Just copy and paste my white space, and I'm not going to copy the whole thing because this one's a little bit different. So this is going to be the submit button. So input type equals submit, and value equals submit. And we go and save that.